massive fireplace. Finally, they came to a library, a room smaller than the living room, but not by much. 3 of its walls were lined floor to ceiling with shelves. The books were bound in leather, and the room smelled musty. There were none of the bright colors Brian saw on book jackets whenever he went into a bookstore. He didn't see any of Robinette's books on the shelves. In the center of one end of the room was a large mahogany desk with a computer screen on it. There was a stack of white paper with a bust of Sherlock Holmes as a paperweight. In front of the desk was a Persian rug of primarily maroon and ochre colors. Without a word, Robinette used his foot to flip up the corner of the rug. He then kicked the fold back until the rug had been moved aside to reveal a small, rectangular door set in the wood flooring. Brian estimated that it was 2 feet by 1.5 feet in size. It was old plywood, and there was a finger hole for pulling it up and open. There were no hinges that Brian could see. Robinette reached down and pulled the door up. He then used both hands to lift the plywood out of the inset in the floor. The opening revealed another door a few inches below. The black steel facing of a safe with dusty gold filigree at the edges, a brass combination dial, and a hammered steel handle. Robinette crouched next to the opening and reached down and gave the steel handle a solid tug, as if to show Brian it was locked. "This is it," he said. "Can you open it?" Brian crouched down across the opening from Robinette and looked at the box. He could see writing in gold script beneath the combo dial. He braced his hands on the floor and leaned down closer to read it. It looked like it said Le Soy, but he wasn't sure. What he was sure of was that he didn't recognize the safe or its manufacturer, let alone know how to pronounce its name. He gave the dial a turn just to see whether it was frozen, and it turned smoothly. That wasn't the problem. He straightened up until he was kneeling on the floor next to the opening. "I don't recognize the make offhand," Brian said. "In a perfect world, I'd have a design schematic. It always helps to know what you're getting into. But don't worry, I can open it. I can open anything." "How much will it cost?" "Unless I find it in one of my books, it's probably going to be a double drill. I charge $150 for the first and $100 for the second." "Jesus, you're killing me." "I might get lucky with the first drill, you never know." "Just do it. I want that thing opened. Too many people have seen it." Brian wasn't sure what he meant by that. "Do you have any idea how old this thing is?" he asked. "The house was built in 29. I assume that it came with it." Brian nodded. "You said on the phone you just bought this place?" "That's right." "The former owner didn't give you the combo?" "Do you think you'd be here if he did?" Brian didn't answer. He was embarrassed by his stupid question. Robinette continued as if he had not asked a question. "It was an estate sale. The old man who lived here died, and he took the combination with him. Nobody even knew there was a safe until I had the floors redone before moving in. Now all the painters, the electricians, everybody who was working on this place to get it ready knows I have a safe in here. You ever read In Cold Blood?" "I think I saw the movie. That's the one with Robert Blake playing a killer before he supposedly became a real killer, right?" "That's right. It's the one where they kill a whole family to get to the fortune in the safe. Only there isn't any fortune. Every one of those workers who was in here went out and told who knows who about the safe I've got in here. I started having dreams. Me with a gun to my head, being told to open up a safe I don't know how to open. I know these guys. I write about them. I know what they're capable of. I've got a daughter. I want that safe open. I don't even want a safe. I don't have anything to put in it." Brian had never read one of Paul Robinette's novels, but he knew before he ever saw the house that he was successful. He'd seen stories about him in the local papers and national magazines.